My name is Lauren Ann Smith, but everyone on campus calls me LA. I was born and raised in Jackson, Mississippi. Growing up, I was always surrounded by a loving and supportive family. I've always been close with my younger sister, Olivia, since we were 3 years apart. My parents always were encouraging in whatever my sister and I were involved in and showed up to everything. I also was fortunate enough to grow up right across the street from my grandparents, who were also constant pillars of support and love in my life. I was an energetic child and always loved going outside to play. I was eager to make new friends, but sometimes flew under the radar at times, as I enjoyed books ever since I learned how to read. I transferred high schools halfway through my sophomore year, which was a challenge on its own, but that's when I started to have a deeper connection with running, as I found a community on the team and it became easier to adapt on being at a new school. So fast forward to my senior year, I got diagnosed with anemia, which means I was deficient in red blood cells that reduced my body's ability to deliver oxygen to the body's tissue and organs, and resulted in me becoming extremely weak during practice. I remember the doctor said there was no chance of my cross-country season panning out to be as successful as I trained for it during the summer. I was crushed that my opportunity to have one last amazing cross-country season was gone. I started looking at colleges that I wouldn't run competitively at, but my summer coach encouraged me to visit Sewanee. My family and I visited in November, and my love for Sewanee was slow to burn, as it took 2 months and a weekend visit to TCU for me to realize Sewanee was the fit for me. I was excited to go out of state and start an entirely new chapter in my life. I loved that there were multiple aspects of Sewanee I could be a part of, and it was not just circulating around track and cross country. My love for Sewanee continued to grow during my freshman year as I enjoyed cross country and track season and decided to go through recruitment and met some of my best friends through in my sorority, Theta Pi. Being a part of Theta Pi started my drive to be more involved in the community beyond the gates because it helped me make a connection with the Rotary Club by volunteering to read at Monteagle Elementary to get students' reading scores up in Tennessee. This started my drive to want to continue being more involved in serving the community, but I wanted it to be more than just once a week. Sophomore year was the year I truly branched out of my comfort zone. I applied to be a tour guide and became an Arcadian, but even then I still wanted to be a part of more on campus. I applied to be a Carey Fellows the summer going into freshman year, but I didn't get it. So I started looking at other leadership roles I could be a part of on campus, and that's when I found it. In the Office of Civic Engagement email, I saw a post for Canale applicants starting in a few weeks, and it got me excited about the opportunity to be part of more on campus and serve the community on and off the domain. I remember my first experience with community service was in 6th grade. My mom, sister, and 2 cousins cooked and served a meal at the Ronald McDonald House next to the St. Dominic's Hospital. I don't remember much of people or what we cooked, but I remember their faces lighting up, and I felt all warm seeing that I was able to brighten their day. I remember how excited I was to see the acceptance email from Morgan. I officially became the site leader for BetterFi, which is a nonprofit CDFI alternative to predatory, payday, title, and flex loans in Tennessee. What I appreciated the most from my semester was working with many different aspects of the organization. I taught junior achievement at middle schools, which involved me working through financially based activities for students to start understanding and comprehending about money. I became certified by the IRS to be a volunteer for Income Tax Assistance Program, also known as VITA. This opportunity has led me to help people during tax season and discuss ways to help prevent the spread of predatory loans. Going into junior year, I branched out and became more involved in participating in other sites. I worked at the convent, where I would be helping the groundkeeper with the property. At Blue Monarch, I would spend 2 hours a day hanging out with the kids, working the food pantry shift, and prepping community meals at the CAC. In my senior year, I went back to being the site leader for BetterFi and worked at the CAC and Early Literacy Ambassadors, which I paired with reading groups in elementary schools around the county. I love the work that ELA does because I enjoyed reading since a young age, and I believe me being around kids also gives guidance to them on how to treat others. I've learned in my years as a Canale the importance of direct and indirect service. I have done both, but what I have come to realize is how amazing direct service is because you get to see the genuine reaction to your actions of helping others. Whether that's helping someone realize they get money back after submitting their taxes, following along with kids for they understand the book they're reading, or seeing the smile on someone's face at the food pantry because they're excited to get supplies to cook a meal for their family. Through my work with BetterFi, I've been fortunate enough to team up with the site leaders at South Pittsburgh Middle School and Richard Hardy Memorial High School. I collaborated with them to create lessons for students to know more about financial literacy and gain knowledge of how to open a bank account, budgeting, and how to safely take out loans. Doing this proves we can make a bigger impact outside just our main sites that we are a part of. Looking back, I am not the same person I was freshman year. I've had growth in becoming more confident in dealing with change. I've learned this through being a part of multiple sites and collaborating with different site leaders while picking up new skills or working on ones that were not my strong suit. Being a Canale has completely broadened my Sewanee experience. I have made connections on and off the domain that I wouldn't be able to have done without this opportunity. I've always appreciated that the Bonner Canale OCE fam is always there with love and support. I've made friends through this program and it makes my Sewanee experience feel whole.